Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of From the Fourth Line presented by Offside News. My name's Emma, and I'm joined, as always, by my lovely co-host, Marcie.
Hello.
Hello. Um, Hope you had a lovely Christmas.
I did.
We have, I love how I'm asking you this as if I didn't talk to you the other day.
Yeah. No, we did
Um,
the classic my family thing of my granddad and my dad went to the pub, me,
which,
my mum, and my grandma
which
drank.
I told that to my mom, and she's like, she's, he's not spending it at home.
No,
And I was like,
they
what? Well, well, Mom, it's like the British. It's different.
it's tradition.
It's tradition.
And I think my grandma just likes to get them out of the house so she doesn't have to deal with them whilst Christmas dinner is being cooked. But yeah, no, they had a little wander down to the pub. I I drank way too much, like for it to be acceptable for Christmas.
Mm,
But when do I not? So
yeah, it's in the car.
in the car.
Anyways, freaking.
Oh dear.
Anyways, what did I do? We played cards. We played a lot of cards.
Oh, fun.
Our Wi-Fi went out on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, it did.
There was an internet outage in the area, and therefore we were stuck recording our World Juniors preview, which if you haven't gone and listened to it, it's not too late. The tournament is not over yet. There is still time before the preliminary rounds are over tomorrow to learn about the rosters of this year's World Junior teams. But we did record that very late
It was so late. It
because
hit
it
like 2/3 of the way through, and I
and
just kind
you
of
can tell
stopped talking.
you can tell where we hit a wall, and I believe it was about Czechia. No, it was Slovak. Was it Czechia or was it Slovakia? Where we both hit like a wall.
Yeah.
Because we had gotten through Sweden pretty well.
We got through Sweden.
And then
Oh,
and then we
like
hit a wall.
it was like it was like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning for me. I was
Yeah, it was because
so beyond
that was the
present.
time, like that was by then at that point, like when the Wi-Fi had come back on. And the thing is I would have tried to like use like a hotspot, whatever, to my computer, but like the cell phone service where I
Yeah.
am is so bad that like it wasn't like you couldn't like load Twitter very well unless you were standing like one specific spot in the house. So I was like, this is not going to work. I cannot record this outside in the middle of the street trying to find more than one bar of service. So we had to wait for the internet to come back on.
Oh dear. Yeah, that was a time. Cause like I woke up that morning and because my family's Christmas Eve tradition is I don't know what my dad does. He just disappears for the day. My sister does her own thing. Me and my mum watch Christmas movies on the sofa all day. So I woke up and I was like, I'm very excited. I was like, hello, mother. I'm very excited for our Christmas Eve movie marathon. I might have to disappear for 2 hours. Don't ask questions. Emma needs me. And she was like, okay. And then it hit like 6 o'clock and she was like, are you going to be vanishing to speak to Emma at any point? And I was like, about that. She's got no Wi-Fi.
Yeah. No,
Mm.
and other than that, and then Christmas Day was very nice. My cousin and my grandmother came up and spent the day with us, and it was lovely. We opened presents throughout the day. We had a lovely Christmas dinner, turkey, mashed potatoes, the whole thing. And it was very, very nice. I got some lovely things for Christmas, including this hat that I'm wearing that no one can see but Marcie.
Oh yeah, it's really nice. I'm very
It's Elise
jealous.
hat. My sister got me Elise hat for
You should
Christmas.
be you should feel very glad that you're too far away for me to rob.
But it was very nice, and I've now got enough various forms of sweet treats to get myself through at least the month of January.
I have so much because my parents didn't know what to get me.
So they
Because
got you candy?
genuinely, it was like sweets. I got olive oil because it's very expensive at the moment. So I sat there and I opened a bottle of olive oil. My sister got one too. We are matching.
I got socks. And what else did I get? I got a new backpack.
Ooh.
Because my mom went to Copenhagen this. And she brought back me one of like the pajama, like the Kanken backpacks.
Ooh, I love a good Kanken backpack.
So it's in like it's the forest green color, which I think very fitting color for me, I feel.
Very on brand.
Everything I own, like most things that I own is about the same color as well.
I got from my grandparents.
What are you about to show me? I'm so.
It's the 50th anniversary edition.
Oh, Lord of the Rings. Well, it's not as cool as what I got, which was, hold on, I gotta get up. It's within reach. That's the only reason why I'm getting it. My Mitch Marner Funko Pop I got from my cousin.
Unbelievable.
He's gonna go on the shelf next to my Joseph Wool and William Nylander Playmobiles.
I always forget about the Playmobiles. No.
And my Joseph Wool and Ilya Samsonov playoff book that we have matching.
Yeah, we do. We have matching. I love that book so much. Because I have like 3 of my little puck cases.
Yeah.
I removed one of my other pucks from the puck case so I could put my special puck in the puck case.
But yeah, no, I also as well got Nazem Kadri's book and Matt Sundin's book, so I have a lot of reading to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a pair of darn tough socks, and I have never been this excited about a pair of socks.
I did get socks for Christmas. I do want to add next year a pair of darn tough socks because I keep eyeing them because they're usually on sale at Mech, and I keep eyeing them like, ooh, do I buy them? Do I not? And I should either just commit to buying myself a pair or put them on my Christmas list.
I am in love with them. They've got such a cute little pattern on them. Like the design is really cute. And it's like I'm walking on clouds. It's so comfortable. I tested them out because me and my friend went on a hike. It was very foggy. It was insanely foggy. Which you didn't reply to that picture, by the way.
Sorry, you must have sent it while I was working, and so I saw it, but then never responded to it. Yes, you did. You sent it to me at 8:24 in the morning. I was at work.
Well, I'd completed a hike, so.
Yeah, I was at work. Actually, on Friday was our last like nice weather day. I've been working in the rain for the last 3 days.
Ooh, fun.
Which sounds like not a terrible thing until you learn that I coach ski racing. That is work. Then it's rough. Yeah, so it's been a soggy couple of days. I'm not that big of a fan of having to constantly air out my things. Like today, somehow rain had seeped in between the 2 different layers of my goggle lenses. So like, you know those notebooks where like they had like the liquid covers?
Yeah.
That was like what my goggles were during the day because it was like an aquarium. because the water from the rain had like dripped in between the two layers of my lenses because apparently they're not watertight, which I learned today. I
Well,
didn't know
you learn
that.
something new every day.
Yeah, I'm like hoping the water like evaporates between today and tomorrow because it is never I have another pair of lenses that I can put in, but they're like my sun lenses, and it is never sunny enough here for me to use them. And I prefer being able to see.
Yeah, being able to see is always a bonus.
Yeah, but I've been good. I've been spending a lot of time on working, and which has made me realize that a lot of people on Twitter, like, once again, we had this conversation last episode.
I feel like we have this conversation a lot.
Well,
Every
I don't
time
know.
we
I
get
don't know if you've been
slightly
on like
buzzing.
you've been on hockey Twitter in the last 24 hours. We're not going to go into the specifics of it. If you're on hockey Twitter, you know what the conversation is about. It literally is one of those things where I was like, I feel like we have this conversation every 6 months, and I choose to not engage because I really do not care. And also as well, you guys have like people on the internet, way too much free time. Way too much. That's all I said. And like I think like that is all I said on the matter, and it is all I will say on the matter.
Mm. That's the thing. It's like whenever stuff like this happens,
No,
I
it's
just
really because it's been multiple things, and I'm like in the past like week, and I'm like and it's nice it's lined up when I'm working,
yeah.
and I don't have time for this because I can't really like check my phone while I'm working.
Mm.
But yeah, no. Just people have too much, especially with all the hockey that's going on right now too,
Yeah,
because
it's
it's
really
like
on
right
two
now where it's
levels.
like we have the NHL. We have the OHL has started up after the Christmas break. The AHL is playing hockey right now. PWHL is also back playing games now after their holiday break. And also there's World Juniors. You have so much hockey
Mm.
to watch right now. Why are you doing this?
No, literally, like I just is it really mean to say that seeing everyone lose their minds over the stupidest things on Twitter makes me feel really good about myself?
Oh, no, it's the reason why I watch like those like crappy reality TV shows.
Mm,
Watching Vanderpump Rules makes me feel better about who I am as a person
yeah.
because
I'm
it's
just
like
that I'm
I
like, I
sometimes make mistakes, but I'm not a terrible person like these people can be.
yeah, it's like I sit and I just watch everyone like at each other's throats and I'm like, I am so glad I don't engage in this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I just silently scroll for like 15 minutes, like get the gist of the situation and then move on with my life.
But literally it was like
Freeing.
I saw that tweet and it was like right below it was a tweet about Dennis Hildeby being the AHL's player of the week, and I was like, this is a far much better use of my time.
Oh yeah. I saw it, I was like, good Dennis.
But we're here to let's holiday plans aside. I mean, it is our last episode of 2024.
Oh my god. But we're going
Um,
into the third year of podcasting technically.
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 That is like my that is my Bradley Nadeau NHL experience technicalities. Played one NHL game, it's a technicality. Technically, he has NHL experience. But yeah, so
I just spilled my
let's
beer.
talk about the Leafs in their last two, well, actually, no, some of their last games of 2024. They play again tomorrow. I honestly woke up this morning and was so I've accidentally made myself superstitious. I've become
Oh no.
Sidney Crosby. So
Oh no.
last year for Christmas, Simon, my boyfriend, got me a
What's
buff,
her
like a
name?
Leafs buff, right? You
Mm.
know, I showed you I sent you a picture of it when I got it,
Well
right?
aware.
He got me a buff like to wear for skiing that has the Leafs logo on it a bunch
Hmm.
of times. And I have now accidentally, or maybe on purpose, or maybe subconsciously, only have worn it on Leaf game days.
Mm.
Do you see where this is going? So I woke up this morning
Yeah.
and I was getting dressed, and depending on where my buffs end up, sometimes they end up in my boot bag. more recently they've kind of ended up in my room because I don't really take them off until I get like undressed from skiing and into my nap wear. I nap after work. And
Yeah, yeah, as you should.
and so I had gone to put on my Leafs buff and I was like, wait, do the Leafs play today? And I was eating breakfast and I checked my phone. Turns out the Leafs do not play today.
No, because I was so convinced there was a
And
game tonight.
and then I remembered why I would have thought that the Leafs play today is because usually, like, and this has been the trend for multiple seasons for the Leafs in
Mm.
terms of broadcast schedules, which is how I figure out most Leaf game days is you'll notice they never play a lot of Fridays because Fridays are never national broadcast games. Leafs get a lot of national broadcasts. Say what you will about um, favoritism, it also is to do with viewership numbers. National broadcast days have always been Wednesdays, Monday, Wednesdays, Saturdays. Saturday Hockey Night Canada, obviously. Monday now is Prime. And so I should have realized when I got commercial after commercial after commercial for the past week about tonight's Prime matchup being the Jets and the Predators, which, ew, that's, sorry, I shouldn't be that mean, but also gross. You're telling,
Mm,
that is the only game that is the only like Canadian not like Canadian broadcasted hockey game tonight. It's the Prime broadcast, which love the Prime broadcast, but it's the Prime broadcasted Jets and Nashville Predators.
ouch.
Canada
That's
also
rough.
doesn't play today in the World Juniors as well, so I don't know what anyone's watching tonight.
Mm.
I say as I probably will end up putting on when Jets and Predators to have something because I have to stay up late play Uber for my sister.
Oh,
Um, but
the
yeah, so
pesky younger sisters.
well, because I don't know why. Turns out the Leafs play tomorrow, and I knew that. I don't know why
Hmm.
they would, but also as well, I think I would have probably assumed that they had back to backs because that just like seems the norm to
Yeah.
what this month had been for the Leafs. But they play
Yeah.
tomorrow at 1
Mm.
against the New York Islanders, which who decided that? So I will not be able to watch tomorrow's game because I will be working at 1 o'clock.
I'm also unable to watch tomorrow's game because I'm at my friend's New Year's party.
That starts at
Well, I'm going round to her house earlier,
mm,
and then we're going to her sister's house because it's at her sister's house. This is the friend that her godfather thought we were dating.
I feel like honestly cheated on.
Well, you know what? She's in England, and you're not. Look, you have Simon. If you're allowed a Simon, I'm allowed to have a best friend who everyone just kind of assumes that we're dating.
Not that's what we were.
Well, yeah, but look, you have a Simon, I can have a Kira. It's allowed.
um yeah, but Leafs did play hockey on the 27th because of course they did after being on the 23rd against Detroit in Detroit. Joseph Woll gets the start, which we'll talk about this more when we talk about the game with Washington. Don't understand, but that's fine.
Hmm.
Um but yes, there's again no Austin Matthews and he yeah, again, we will talk about that more later.
Yeah.
Um, but David Kampf playing in his 500th NHL game, which is very
Woo!
impressive.
Look at him go.
Um, opens the scoring for the Leafs with like what I like. This is like the fourth line for the Leafs, and I see people all the time complaining about wanting more scoring from the fourth line.
Mm.
There's an you know in the movies when they say the title of the movie.
Yeah.
Just did that right there.
Oh, look at you.
But like I think we can be now certain things aside again. Everyone knows my thoughts on Mind Reeves. We don't need to go over it again.
Mm.
But like I don't have a problem with the fourth. Like I think they've been playing well, and this sort of play that was started by Steven Lawrence behind the net is kind of exactly like the fun little bonus you get
Mm.
with
Yeah.
um Dallas Stars were fine, but we'll talk about that later.
Oh yeah.
They just announced.
Oh, like officially.
Yeah. But we'll talk about that later. I already have it written down.
Yay. You're so on top
Um
of these things, Emma.
I know. I know. Someone has to be. But anyways, like I said, this is just some sort of um this is just some sort of it's a not some sort of bonus. It is a kind of a bonus. It's always nice when your fourth line can score, but if they do their job defensively to shut down as a shutdown line, and then you also get scoring from them, and they do it in this cool kind of flashy way. Um, then it's fun. It's an extra little thing that
Yeah.
we can go like, oh, look at that.
Yeah, we can be happy because it's like that's a little
Yeah,
guy.
yeah, exactly. And like, when has David Kampf ever been known for his scoring prowess?
I think that's your answer.
Not like none of the guy like none of the guys really on this line. I guess no, not I can't even say even Connor Dewar. Like not necessarily.
No, Connor
But I
Dewar
do,
is known for his mustache.
which is no which he shamed.
Rest in peace is
Which he shaves.
we miss her every day.
Um but yeah. And then this turns very much into a game in which because the Leafs should have won this game and they did, and they
Mm.
would do it in a way which everyone appreciates, which is Mitch Marner natural hat trick.
Oh yeah.
His first natural hat trick since 2022. His first hat trick since the Bubble Mitch hat trick against Seattle last season.
Bubble Mitch. Oh.
And also to add to that stat of like they're all also as well. One of them is a power play goal. Jeez, long day. Um, power play goal, and and they're also as well like all very like Mitch Marner goals, which I think a lot of
So
people who um like don't acknowledge the fact that he can score because he can score goals, but like
mm.
they were just all very Mitch Marner, which Mitch Marner plays like Mitch Marner. Who would have thought?
Shocker.
Also
Shocker.
also as well, 10 of Marner's 13 goals. Is that all he has this season? Um
That's crazy.
come without Austin Matthews in the lineup. Um which yeah, I mean I think I'm trying not to like talk about like 10 of Marner's 13 goals coming without Austin Matthews in the lineup. I'm trying not to think about it in a way of like Mitch Marner plays better without Austin Matthews, but I think he plays differently
Mm.
because, and not in a negative way of like he plays worse with Matthews in the lineup. I think, or he plays better when he's not there. I think it's just more so the fact of like and this is not necessarily a bad thing, and I think it's maybe more reflective of the fact that Matthews is having an off year because of whatever injury he has. I'm
Mm.
assuming it's his back. Um, is preventing him from capitalizing on these grade A chances that
Mm.
that he receives from Mitch Marner. I think what is happening is not that Martin, like, I'm trying to explain this. Marner will not, like, he will score, he can score and he can score goals and he will shoot when that is the only option. And when he doesn't have Matthews in the lineup, he or with him on his line or wherever, you take away a lot of his options.
Mm. It's like not like the. It's almost like the priority of his game changes, but
Yeah.
not like in a bad way.
Not
Just in a.
not no, just in a way of like also as well as there's one less goal scorer
Mm.
on the ice,
Hmm.
right?
Someone has to pick up the scoring.
Yeah. And it's what happens with any team who loses a goal scorer
Mm.
is like then the way the goal distribution among the rest of the players gets reshuffled in a way. It's not necessarily good or bad. It's just how sports work.
Yeah, but
Um, but yeah. Nick Robertson uh also scores as well to make it 5-0 at this point. And still there's that third line of what McMahon, Domi, Robertson was still together for this game. Again, I watched some of this game. I also was at a social gathering, so I had it on my phone and was pulling it out of my back pocket like occasionally.
that's what I'm gonna have to do tomorrow night. I'm
What
just be like,
I
Happy New Year's, guys. Just let me check on my silly little guys in my pocket for a second.
yeah.
But it feels so long ago, even though it really wasn't.
It was 3 days ago. Um, and then just because it's not a Leafs game if we don't at least somewhat critique the defense, the Toronto's blue line. Their defense kind of like they just I don't know if it's they get lazy or if Detroit just starting to capitalize on chances that they have. But halfway, like at the end of the third, less than halfway, like less than with less than half left of the third period. Long day. Um, Detroit scores two to make it
Hmm.
like a classic Leafs 5-2 win, I think. I mean,
Yeah,
not that like Mitch Marner scoring a natural hat trick is like a classic thing, but just like in
vibe wise.
terms, yeah, vibe wise, your typical 5-2 Leafs win. Myers also was in this game for Connor Timmins. He's been getting more and more reps on that third pair,
Mm.
either swapping in for Simon Benoit or swapping in for Connor Timmins. Just kind of the three of them have been sharing that bottom pair.
Mm.
Um, there was also a Kevin Weeks tweet this past week about the Leafs and Myers potentially agreeing on an extension, which is not the guy you would think the Leafs would be working on an extension with when you look at their list of
Yeah,
pending free agents. But you know what? Love this for
sure.
Philippe Myers. Simon
Good
Benoit
for
needs a
him.
Quebecois friend.
He does. He needs his little emotional support guy.
Yeah. Moving on to again, Leafs played a back-to-back this week coming out of the holiday break against Washington. They were at home. It was Matt Murray in net versus Logan Thompson, and I don't understand this decision because you were going to call Matt Murray up to back up Joseph the to for the game in Detroit, so you would allow Dennis Hill to play for the Marlies. and to get
Mm.
more reps in with the Marlies, right?
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you play Matt Murray against the, not arguably, the the like the known weaker Detroit Red Wings compared to the Washington Capitals?
Mm. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, do you know what I mean?
Where it's like, okay, that's a choice, and not one I necessarily agree with.
Yeah, I
Well,
just that's just the one aspect like where I don't fully understand that line. And I know like you're gonna be like, well, Matt Murray, if he really wants to come back to the NHL, is gonna have to play against tougher opponents, but also as well, it's his what? Second game back?
mm, like,
And the Leafs will have 3 days off before they play tomorrow, where you're probably going to start Joseph Wool against the Islanders again.
mm,
So that's just the thing that I just don't understand.
yeah. Yeah.
Especially also as well, I should note Alex Ovechkin returns to the lineup for this game since for the first time since breaking his leg against Utah. I don't know. I just don't and like last time Washington came to Toronto, like Washington and Toronto played each other, like Washington had a very strong game.
Mm,
It's just one of those ones that I don't fully
understand.
get. But if Craig Berube wants to explain it to me and sit me down and talk me through his decision, um, he
Be my
he
guest.
can. He can.
Mm,
Yeah. Otherwise, like this game though, I will say was like the other side of the coin when it comes to a Leafs 5-2 game. Like very much was.
yeah, quite literally.
Like I don't want to overanalyze these two games, and just in the way of the fact is that they were Leaf games in December in which the Leafs like the final score was 5-2.
Mm,
But John Tavares once again opens the scoring of the game. Not once, but like Leafs open the scoring again with John Tavares tip on a Simon Benoit shot. John Tavares doing John Tavares things.
incredible. Amulet doing its job.
Yeah, and Toronto stays in it for the first half of the game, and then I don't know if it was like Toronto defensively or just Toronto in general got tired. Again, this is the second game of a back-to-back, which is not an excuse because every team in the NHL plays back-to-backs. It happens.
Mm,
Um, but if they just got tired and they were allowing more turnovers and just playing worse defensively, but if then they just allowed more grade A chances on Matt Murray, or if just Matt Murray just started letting in shots he probably wouldn't have wanted to, sort of thing.
yeah.
Like there was definitely a couple of goals in which you would think that Matt Murray probably wanted those back, but
Mm,
it was a combination of both. The game sort of gets away from them and it gets to the point where the score is what, 4-2, and you're pulling the goalie with like 4.5 minutes left, and you think this is never going to work because it has never worked and it doesn't work. And Alex Ovechkin scores an empty net goal for his 869th career NHL goal. And he is nearing up on Wayne
he's
Gretzky's
getting there.
record. He's getting there. It's now a question though, because now that he's returned to the lineup, I think he's what, 24, 25 goals back.
Mm.
Does he do it this season? Because I know like once he got hurt, like people are like, oh, I don't know if he's gonna do it, but like, does he do
I
it this
think
season?
I think he either does it or he's gonna get very, very close.
Yeah, like it's gonna be one of those things where he's gonna be like maybe like 2 or 3 short
Mm.
going like at the end of the season.
Yeah, it's gonna be like Mitch Marner getting to 100 points, where it
Or
just
he's
kind
at
of like,
sitting at 98.
yeah, where we're so like, go on, Mitch, he's so close. And then it's like a very last minute, like, will he, won't he?
Yeah.
We shall see.
Yeah. I should also note as well that in between all these goals, in between the 5 Washington goals, it was at one point this game was tied 2-2.
Hmm.
And it was
That
stayed
was
tied 2 for quite a while in the way that Toronto was still very much in this game, more so than you would think they would be for
Mhm.
like for as long as it the like falling the part where they stopped being in this game was later than you'd expect it to be for the second
Yeah.
game of a back-to-back with travel and with again, no offense to Matt Murray, with Matt Murray in net. Like you don't have your starter in net.
Yeah.
But Bobby McMahon scores another goal. Again, it was one of
Bobby.
those ones where it was a like you're like, oh yeah, this is why you have that third line together. And then you watch them turn over the puck in the neutral zone and you're like, can
Like,
we
yep,
not do this?
classic third line.
Classic third. I think it probably was like the next shift or something. I think they had like a turnover
Yeah,
in the
it was
neutral
a
zone.
very big turnaround.
But yeah, so some final Leafs updates. They play again tomorrow against the Washington. They're against not the Washington against the New York Islanders um, at 1 p.m. Eastern in Toronto. And then they play. It's a classic home and away. They play on the second in on Long. Is it in or on Long Island against the
Um,
Islanders? I think it's on Long Island against the Islanders.
yeah.
So prepare for a game in which,
Oh
well,
boy.
actually, that's already Thursday, the second.
Oh my god, where is this?
It's already the second is already a Thursday. So there will be one game that we will talk about that neither of us will be able to watch
Oh my
on
god.
Thursday's episode.
This is why I need to stop having a social life.
Do you think we can get someone on who watched that game?
I
What
think
are
we
the
should
odds
look
we could
into that.
last? What are the odds we could get Randy on last minute?
Please. We're just going, hey, Randy. So
Um,
you know, like, how
but
you watch
yeah.
the game.
So prepare for there to be so much. Oh, it's a 7:30 start too. Ew.
Do they not consider the fact that I have to stay up for this shit?
You have to and also as well because it's in Long Island, you just know that they're gonna still be they're gonna be booing every time John Tavares touches the puck.
Ugh, because they're what? Children.
Yeah, some other Leafs updates. Leafs did practice today. Austin Matthews was not a full participant, but was but did participate in
Mm.
he was like
He was present.
he was technically a full part. It was one of those things where I saw that Jonas Siegel tweet, and then I was like, I looked at like the 7 other notifications I got from the other Leaf beat reporters that talked about him leaving early, not taking the first line rushes, and not taking
Mm.
every line rush, like
Yeah.
rotating in. And I was like, I don't think that counts as a full participant. He was full participant in the way of which he was he even in a no, he was probably in a gray extras jersey and not a red no contact jersey. But
Mm.
I very much was like, this is not how that works.
No. Mm.
But yeah. He also, like, no, he was in a full contact jersey. Okay. So he wasn't a blue jersey, like a regular blue. He wasn't in an extras gray. So
Promising.
he was he was full participant in the way in which he was wearing his regular jersey, which is a top 6 blue.
Mm. Every other meaning.
Like, anyways, but I just don't know. So he re-aggravate. This is the thing that's frustrating about this is that we were told when he was hurt and going to Germany the first time that it was one of those things where once he was back, he would be back for good. And that's why they were taking his time with his return.
Mm.
What is it? His second, third game back in the lineup?
Mm.
Fourth game back? Anyway, whatever. It's his whatever game back in the lineup. He's playing against Buffalo. Heavy cross check, which is just like it. Like, okay, so yes, he had a big hit from Tage Thompson, and then he had cross check from another guy. But like normally those shouldn't take a guy out of for multiple games,
No.
for multiple weeks. Shouldn't take a guy out of the
Definitely.
lineup for that long.
No.
So, and I think we can all be safe to assume it's his back, and it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, I am almost awaiting like at the end of the season the from the press conference um with Brad Living where he goes and Austin Matthews will be having surgery this summer.
Yeah.
Like the
But
same way we got the Connor Dewar.
oh fuck.
Did you drop your beer? That look tells me that you did.
Um.
Do we need to take a break?
No, it's all fine. It's all fine. It was nearly empty.
Is it empty now?
Um. No. Just it. I don't know how. That. Oh wait, no, it did still. Oh.
Well, Marcy's
It's
dropped your
fine.
beer.
It
I'm exposing you because this is funny.
was the way I was like trying to like very carefully like pick up my water bottle and then crash. Oh.
But yeah, I just like, and I don't like. It's one of those things, and I've seen some pretty like not horrendous, not like insult, but I've seen people go, well, if Austin Matthews shouldn't be playing in Four Nations. Four Nations is like at least a month and a half away. I think it's like 8 weeks away.
Hmm. Yeah, there's time.
Like, I understand your feeling about a player, and I know because this isn't the Olympics, and I think guys maybe would be
Mm.
saying like acting a little bit differently if this was the Olympics. But also like it's one of those things where it's just frustrating because like I think maybe we would be talking about this differently if it was dealt with starting from the start of the season, like if he didn't start the season
Mm.
and you started the season hurt and like not playing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion though.
Mm.
We'll see. He's not going to be playing tomorrow, apparently, according to Craig Berube, so we will see when he returns.
Yes.
Um, but moving into outside of the Toronto Maple Leafs, we have yeah, would you like to add something?
I would. Thank you, Emma. Um, Joseph will cut his hair, and I am not happy about it. I feel like it's an important.
Yes, I love how we're doing this after we've talked. Like it's like we've talked about the games and we've talked about whatever the Leafs like next couple of games, and then we have talked about Matthew's injury, and then now we're gonna talk about Joseph Wolf cutting his hair
Look,
in the
I just,
same in the same sort of conversation as Austin Matthews missing multiple games due to an injury.
yeah, and Joseph Walt is missing his hair full stop.
Okay, well he's not like Joel Farabee bald at least. Like like let's he's not Joel Farabee bald, okay?
Yeah, it could be worse. Although I personally think that my tweet when I initially found out was one of the best things I've ever tweeted, where I just quoted the clip, and I just went, "He's bald. Why is he bald?" All caps, nothing else.
But the thing is he's not. He just got a haircut, but he got the haircut in like the way of like men who don't know the like what a trim is.
It's like you go from like, oh, my hair was gorgeous. She was serving. She looked so good. But it's a little bit long now. I'm just gonna get rid of it all.
Which like yes, hair grows back, so it's like not like the end all be all, but it also is really like Simon's the
Also,
same way, and
what?
he's gonna hate me that we're talking about his hair like
Again.
yet and not like on yet another podcast episode.
It's like I'm
But like he doesn't. I've told him multiple times because his hair is now getting long to the point where he's gonna start getting frustrated by it, so he's gonna want to get a haircut. And I've told him when you go in, you ask for a trim. That's the word. It's a trim, and you go every 6 to 8 weeks. And he
ignores you.
ignores me and shows up bald, not bald. Don't no, because he's gonna go buzz cut question mark, and I'm like, absolutely not. This is not what I'm suggesting.
No, because you know what? I'm very scared for the day that you text me out of the blue saying he's bald. Why is he bald? And I'm just like, oh god, it's happening.
The worst actually it was the time that he texted me going, "Hey Emma, guess what I did today?" And I have to go, "What?" And he said, "I got a haircut." And then I couldn't see him for a week.
You
Do you
were going
remember that?
through it. You were so terrified of
I was
what
like
was in store.
I was like, what am I gonna open like do you I was like, what if it's bad?
And I was like, well, if it's bad, then that's the point that you leave him, and I'm right here. Sorry,
But yeah,
Simon.
we're talking about his haircut once again. Um, but yeah, so Joseph will got a haircut. And it is actually quite short, and I'm actually probably more afraid to see it without the hat now
Yeah,
because I don't
that's
know
the
what
thing,
like
not
the front
him.
situation is where because he's had some pretty like tragic haircut. Remember, because he's done the like really long on top, short on the sides. I just don't know. I
Why would you
also
remind me of
would
that?
like the record to show that he had all of his hair again in the game against Detroit.
He did, because it was poking out, and we could all
And then
see it.
24 hours later.
She's dead.
Oh, but also as well, the Leafs traveled from
Mm.
Detroit back to Toronto, which isn't a huge travel. It's whatever. And did they have a morning skate before Washington?
I don't know, but do you think Matthew Nice sat him down and went, I want to play hairdressers?
In the same way Scott Lawton was to said that to Detroit.
He's just sat there, just like, you'll see it when you see it. It's gonna look great. Like, in the same way that, like, when I was in primary school, two of my friends decided to play hairdressers. And one of them ended up going home with half of her hair in a Ziploc bag. That was a time. And I don't know why, but that's like one of those things that I just vividly remember. But yeah, I'm afraid for what the removal of the hat will bring.
We'll see.
I don't know if I want to.
I mean, we'll see it probably on tomorrow.
What if it's bad? Emma, what if it's bad?
But yeah, so moving away from the Maple Leafs and their various hair-related escapades, um, we have another head coach to talk about who got fired. This one also bald.
He's bold. Why is he bold?
Detroit Red Wings fired their head coach Derek Lalonde. They fired him on Boxing Day, so on December 26th. So the Leafs, when they played Detroit, was their first game and also first day with new head coach and former LA Kings head coach. We've talked about this guy getting fired before, Todd McLellan.
Indeed.
We've talked about this guy getting fired.
We have.
Isn't it fun?
So much fun.
When we get so we will see. I don't know. Like, it's one of those things where I'm like, Detroit, sure, all right, fire Derek Lalonde. I guess now no one's making any more Gru jokes about the Detroit Red Wings stealing the moon. But like, I also don't fully understand why they did this.
No.
Like, not that, like, no offense to Todd McLellan, not that he's much better. So
I'm gonna miss the Gru jokes so bad.
yeah. Moving on. Just a little World Juniors check-in because we are now almost halfway through the tournament. Tomorrow is the last days of preliminary games before the playoff rounds start on the 2nd. Yes, that day is right, on the 2nd. We are moving very quickly past Canada's upset loss in a shootout to Latvia. I do not want to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
The USA, okay, US lost to Finland, all right?
Yeah.
In regulation. Actually, no, I think it was in overtime. It was in overtime. But so it's all tied up, which makes me ever more nervous for tomorrow's game of Canada versus the US. Will be panicking and having multiple mental breakdowns. Oh, you're back now. You froze.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
I
I've
thought
not heard anything that you've said in the last 30 seconds because it's just been like dead silent.
I was just saying USA and Canada New Year's Eve to potentially decide who will win the group, and I want to I actually will hate that entire experience. I will panic.
Yeah. Good luck. Have a beer on many. You'll be
fine. Sweden stays undefeated in Group B. Also, as well, Kazakhstan scored two shorthanded goals to tie it against Slovakia to send the game into overtime, where they lost in overtime. But it means that they got to overtime, which means they got the overtime loser point, and therefore are doing better than Switzerland.
Yeah, which baffles me.
Everyone thought that they were going to be relegated after making, but they may not even have to play for relegation and may even make the tournament next year.
They might.
Go Kazakhstan. They have really like their jerseys are really good.
Their jerseys are incredible. I love them. But like, oh, little Kazakhstan. It's like I was telling my mum about them, and she was like, "Oh, how are they getting on?" And that was like right after the 14-2 loss to Czechia. And I was like, they're definitely playing. But no. Good for Kazakhstan.
Yeah. The Winter Classic is tomorrow at Wrigley Field between the Chicago Blackhawks and the St. Louis Blues. Um, they have practice day is today for both teams, and the pictures that are coming out of it of the rink and everything are gorgeous. I would also like to note that the if you everyone knows the infamous Wrigley Field scoreboard that has like I don't know, have you guys seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off? It's there. But it has the scores from like all the other ongoing games at the time. They have done it for the NHL where they have put in the teams that will be playing tomorrow so that they will do live score updates for the ongoing games during the Winter Classic game,
Mega slow.
which is really cool. That's cool to me. I don't know. I've been to Wrigley. I love Wrigley Field. I do feel bad for the ticket holders for the various seats, which are directly behind a post. There's like a lot of those because of how old the diamond is, and I do feel bad for the people who own those tickets.
Good luck to them.
Yeah. Also as well, this not officially, but the Dallas Stars officially have now been fined $100,000 for holding a skate a practice on December 26th in violation of Article 16.5b of the CBA. Fine money will go to the NHL Foundation, which is just the NHL Foundation is just like a charity associated with the NHL, and it funds players assistance program and stuff like that, among various other things.
100 grand.
Yeah, which is a lot of money. My favorite ongoing bit ever since this news came out about this situation is just making jokes about the fact that the Ottawa Senators will lose another first round pick because of this.
You have made so many jokes about that in the last few days.
I will get one bit and then I will reuse it for as long as I can get away with it, and then I will stop using it. I will say, still using Josephine carrier pigeons to this day, and will never stop talking about the John Tavares amulet.
No, I feel like the Josephine carrier pigeons and the John Tavares amulet. I nearly said Justin Hall amulet, and I was like, God, please no. If someone gives Justin Hall an amulet,
watch
immediate hat trick. Outscores Wayne Gretzky. But those two bits are they will never get old because they're so insanely funny.
My favorite reasoning. So you are not according to the CBA, what 16.5b is that NHL teams are not allowed to hold practices on December 24th, Christmas Day, or December 25th, and December 26th in accordance with the holiday rest or shutdown. It is to allow that all players have the same 3 days off in the season for the Christmas holidays. League's holiday break. I think even league offices close, team offices close, everything, right? That they had an optional apparently, and that all young guys show up for the optional. This is from Pete DeBoer, their Stars head coach, who said that he was at the rink yesterday. We had an optional. Of course, the young guys all show up for the optional, like they're supposed to. Um, for all purposes, including so even travel, like teams aren't allowed to travel on the 26th, which
Mm.
often means when you see like a road game on the 27th for a team, it is a team that is like really close geographically for them so that they could even they
Yeah.
could travel down the morning of the 27th, hence Toronto playing in Detroit.
Mm.
Um and see the thing is that players are allowed, like it doesn't mean that players can't go to their team's facilities and use them and use the ice and skate. They just it just can't uh have coaches involved.
Mm.
Optional practices include coaches and things like that. So,
Mm.
but
That would
there
be
was I'm reading this article from The Athletic now that NHL teams, that a memo was sent out to leagues from Senior Executive Vice President Colin Campbell that no travel or ice time can be provided to the teams during said holiday freeze. So that is where this investigation takes us, and the Dallas Stars receive a fine.
pretty hefty one.
Yeah, $100,000. Like, even it can be like, oh, well, they're like an NHL team. That's a lot of money still.
Mm.
Um, and definitely, I don't like. I doubt Tabura will be like fired over this, but it definitely does serve
Mm.
as a reminder for teams of like, hey, don't break the rules. Especially when it's like something like this, where it's like it's so easy to not break through.
Mm.
There, I wanted to reference John Mulaney, but I can't reference because you're not going to get it. But he does have a bit where he says it's so much easier to not do things than it is to do them, and it truly is.
Mm.
It's so much easier to not hold a practice,
Yeah.
and I don't know. It's and
Very
then like
dumb.
it's not,
Yeah.
yeah. And I will, and so.
Dear.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like there's going to be nothing more to come from this. It is just something to note that the league then had to look into this optional, I say quote unquote optional practice.
Mm.
Um, because yeah, they had to. It was held. I mean, there's nothing like, if it was something where players were it was a like open ice time that
Mm.
players were just at, and they're like, what if we run some drills? There would be nothing wrong with that. Like there's nothing
Yeah.
stopping players from going skating during said holiday freeze.
Mm.
The ice time just cannot be provided by their NHL organization.
Yeah.
Which but I think a bunch of Edmonton Oilers went to an outdoor rink over the holiday freeze. All the
Yeah.
Nylanders took over and out, like the entire Nylander clan over
Yeah.
an ODR in Toronto during the holiday freeze. Which imagine just like it's Christmas,
Oh,
like you got like a new hockey stick or whatever Christmas morning, and you're like you call up all your buddies. I don't know, you're like 12, and you're like, let's go let's go to the ODR. Let's go. Come on, I got like a new stick. I don't know what the like stick is. I think what is it like the Bauer Twitch or something? Is that one? Is it
don't look at me
you
because you already know I have
can
not
tell
looked at you.
you can tell neither of us play on. All I keep hearing about is the Easton Synergy stick when they taught when like they've have you been getting the videos of um like NHL teams asking their players what their favorite Christmas present was?
Yeah.
And they're all like, well, I think I got like my first like a stick. I think it was the Easton Synergy. And they're all saying the Easton Synergy. So I was about to say that. I was like, wait, no, it's not 2007 anymore. But anyways, you like call up your buddies, let's go to the ODR, and you show up, and
Mm.
it's it's like it's all of the Nylanders, including the dogs. Well, actually, no, the dogs should not be a surprise there. It's Pablo and Banksy. Like
It's like, whoa, no way.
Shocker. It's like
Good
all of the
stuff.
D-landers are like, what? You're just like, what?
You just like rock up. You stood there and you're just like,
William D-lander?
William, what are you doing here?
I just love how they were all like, let's go skating.
Oh,
Anyways, you should totally go follow Ella Nylander on TikTok.
the true icon, the people's princess,
Everyone's favorite Nylander.
the people's Nylander.
People's Nylander. This is why we need to get Randy back on the show.
Please.
We need their like official opinion on this.
Mm.
Who is the people's Nylander?
Yeah.
And why isn't Ella? I don't know if you have anything else to add.
I do not.
Buffalo no longer is on a losing streak. That's all I've got.
Yeah, they felt what it feels like to win again. Good for them.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll end it here though.
Mm.
We'll end it here and with our last show of 2024.
Oh.
But we'll be back on Thursday with another episode. Talking about the one Leafs game that will happen between now and then that neither of us will have been able to watch.
Yay! Oh god, that's gonna be fun.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll be back on Thursday. In the meantime, you can go follow Offside News on all social platforms at Offside News Co. Or you can read any of the lovely articles that get written, including their full World Juniors coverage. I know there is some pieces on that about some recaps coming down the pipeline. Over at offsidenewsco.com. You can go follow the show on Twitter at From the Fourth Line. That's fourth with the number 4TH. Or you can find the show wherever you get your podcast. Or if you really miss the two of us between episodes, because we're hilarious over on Twitter, really should go follow. So you never miss another Joseph Poole haircut update. Follow at Six Leaves for Marcie, at Pairview1 for myself. Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll be back. In the meantime, go Leafs go.
Leafs go.